So we're about to go on a tour of the SHABO Winery, which is one of the biggest wineries in Ukraine. I've had a lot of their wine in my life. It's here in sort of the southern coast area of Ukraine, not far from Odessa. We're going to see some vines and then do some tasting. So I think they do English speaking tours, but we didn't ask about that. We just joined the next available tour, which was a Russian speaking one, I think. So I got maybe like 5% of what was said, but it was pretty interesting, what I did understand.
It's an interesting tour. Got to see a movie. 2 movies.
So another reason to come to Bilhorod-Dnistrovskyi is to visit Akkerman Castle, which is an ancient castle that's built right here, right next to the Dniester estuary. So let's go. So I didn't actually do too much research about Akkerman Fortress before we came because the pictures were motivation enough to want to come. But we did read the Wikipedia article about it right before we came in, and something interesting is that this part of the world, this territory, has been fought over by all different kinds of empires. It's been occupied by different empires. The people who occupied this fortress the longest were the Ottomans, the Ottoman Empire. They occupied it for more than 300 years. But they weren't the ones who built it, and some people actually think the Freemasons built it. I was kind of hoping there'd be more information inside the fortress, but there's not really a lot of placards or little leaflets or anything in Ukrainian or English, but we did just see some excavating happening back there, so hopefully in the near future there will be a little bit more information available to tourists. know is that there was a fortress here from about the 13th or 14th century. I don't know what part of what we can see now is original, probably very little, and like what has been built on throughout the years, but it's still very impressive. It's massive. I've been to a lot of the fortresses and castles in Ukraine, and this is definitely one of the most impressive. George, what do you call this thing?
This is called a trebuchet.
Are you sure it's not called a trebuchet?
It's definitely not called a trebuchet. The French invented this. It's definitely not a trebuchet.
In my defense, I've only ever seen that word written. I've never heard anyone say it. So after just one night, we're actually heading back to Zatoka. But I think 24 hours in Bilhorod-Dnistrovskyi is actually like a great amount of time. You can do a lot here. You can go to the SHABO Winery, you can also see Akkerman Fortress. So if all you have is 24 hours, you should still come. I think it's worth it. Is that you're going to the winery dance? Shabo. Shabo. Whoa, look at this trebuchet thing.
Trebuchet. Yeah.
What are they? How do you say it?
Trebuchet.
What? Is that you?
Trebuchet.
I
Are you serious? I thought you were making it funny.
I never heard it pronounced. I never heard it pronounced. I've only ever seen it written in civilization. Wait, let's do it this way. Wait, no, not like that. Like this. Yeah.
Like this?
Like this.